Hello friends and welcome to my channel UPSC Guru. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Hina and in this video I am going to talk about the classification of questions subject wise that comes into your prelims and also how to choose your optional subject. But before we move on to the topic of our video, first discuss about the notification of the UPSC. I know that you all must have read the notification that came regarding the declaration of the date of examination, which was on the 20th of May. Now the notification reads that the date of the examination will be declared on the 5th of June via notification. That will be after analyzing the situation of COVID-19. So please don't get demotivated and keep on studying. Now coming back to the topic of this video, which is the classification of questions subject wise. So in this video I am going to tell you the approximate number of questions that comes from each subject in your prelims. Starting with polity, the number of questions that are going to come that UPSC most of the time asks, please keep in mind that the number of questions keeps on changing, or the pattern or the proportion of these questions keep on changing year by year. The number of questions that comes from polity ranges from 15 to 20. That means that you have to study polity with very much information and with very much concentration. Now going for the number of questions that comes from economy, or the number of questions that are being asked from economy also ranges from 15 to 20. So again, keeping this in mind, 80% of the questions you have to secure, so 12 out of 15 and 18 out of 20. Now coming for geography. Geography, the trend that I'm seeing these days is that they are asking a lot of questions from geography, specifically from the map and the concepts. The factual questions which used to come earlier are less probable in these days. So they ask you questions related to the maps, the world map, the longitude, latitude, the places which are currently in news. So they ask you questions related to that. After that, moving for ecology, the number of questions that comes from this particular subject are 10 to 15, and they ask you questions related to conventions, related to laws, related to your species which is endangered, which is threatened, which is almost extinct. So they ask you questions related to that. Now going for history, we divide history like usually I divide history in many parts: art and culture, ancient, medieval and modern. Talking about art and culture, in art and culture they ask you questions because we are having a diverse culture, so they basically ask more questions from this area, and the number of questions is 5 to 6 questions they ask you from art and culture. From ancient and medieval they ask you almost 2 to 3 questions, and from modern they ask you almost 4 to 5 questions. So, and the remaining question comes from the current affair and the science and technology portion. So science and technology portion, like what satellite is launched, what date is launched, what are the defense missiles, or if there is any kind of military exercise with other countries. So these kind of questions scatter science and current affairs. Okay, this is the one portion in which we talked about the various classification of objective questions, or the number of questions that are being asked into your prelims examination. Now, how to choose your optional subject. When we are going to choose your optional subject, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that first thing is your interest. You should have interest into your subject. That means that if you are not interested into the subject, then how you are going to go back and study it again. So it is very important that you should and must have interest in that particular subject. Second thing which we have to keep in mind is the syllabus and the scoring card. That is the syllabus. You also have to keep in mind the syllabus of that particular subject which you are going to choose as your optional subject. After that, the number of questions or the scorecard, like how many, what is the scoring subject, or in which subject you score more or you can score more. So these kind of things. And the third very important thing is overlapping of the syllabus. So I personally prefer that subject which I am already studying for mains, or which I had already studied for mains. Now I am studying, I just have to study a bit of a portion more as an optional subject. So name being your geography, your economy, your history and your polity somehow, because polity and international relation comes as political science and your international relations. So this is how, whenever you are going to choose your optional subject, please keep these three things in mind which will help you. This is all for this video, and if this video is useful for you, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.